Welcome back to the workshop. 2 years ago, well 3 years ago, I acquired my Worx Pegasus, this thing right here. And 2 years ago, I made a video called The Pros and Cons of the Worx Pegasus, which was meant to be just an overview of how you could use a Worx Pegasus for hand tool woodworking. At the time, I had no idea that it would become the most popular video on my channel with over 64,000 views as of today. And climbing. It's viewed several times each week. So I thought I would take a look back at it now 2 years later, some of the applications I've done and how it's held up. For those of you, a lot of you have joined this channel, subscribed to this channel from watching that video, and I thank you for it. So I'll take a look at the Worx Pegasus as it's working for me now and some of the changes that have occurred since that pros and cons video. So here's the table being used as it is today. We got a package yesterday from Amazon Prime that was damaged, I think, in the street. I think the delivery guy dropped it. Had this detergent, the cap broke off, and it got all over the contents and pretty much destroyed everything. So that happens. So the detergent got on this. It was easy to clean off. You know, we'll deal with that as we need to. This is garbage. Before that, I was doing some finishing, using some shellac, working on a project in a puzzle box or something like that I'm working on, as you know. So the surface is a lot different than it was in the pros and cons video. A lot has happened in the last 2 years. We moved from North Carolina to Tennessee. It's gotten used from woodworking. Also did painting this year, so there's paint on it. You may have seen a painting video that showed me using it. In the video, I put a drop cloth over it before I put the paint down, but on the first room that we did, there was no drop cloth, and we had paint directly on the surface. Also, I have kitty litter in big boxes that I transfer to little jugs. I do that on here so some of that gets into the surface. But otherwise, it's a pretty durable surface for work. And I've gotten a lot of people watching this video, the pros and cons video, with asking questions about how it holds up for woodworking, for mechanical work. One person asked, could they cut up a slab of meat on here? And you know, that's a little different than the applications I use, but you certainly could do it. I had told them they could tie it down using string or something through the dog holes, knowing that the string would be cut as they worked it. But it certainly is durable for that. But let's think about some of the other applications some of you have asked about in the comments. Some of the comments I've gotten looked at different things like, could you weight this down? Could it be attached to the wall? Certainly you can attach it to other Worx Pegasus. I have now thought about, since moving to this new workshop, about possibly buying another one. I've also thought about getting a pony bench, the brand new, well, it's not new now, but a couple years ago, the pony bench came out, and I thought about getting that. But from what I'm doing, this is still pretty good. Let's see, someone had said, a properly designed portable workbench allows you to comfortably put your foot down on the cross support for the legs, and that's really not the case here. I mean, you can put your foot on that little shelf that's underneath, but it bows with the force of your foot. I should also notice in that video, the Worx Pegasus wobbled around on the floor quite a bit for a lot of the applications. It's obvious that that workshop that I was working in did not have a flat concrete floor. The floor in this workshop is very flat, and so it more of slides, but it doesn't wobble around. So that's good. And so your floor may be the determining factor as to whether it rides along or just stays in one place. There's things about the waffle pattern. With the waffle pattern underneath, you'll just have to have a little piece of wood or something. A good example of that would be, you have a thin piece of plywood or of wood itself, a 1/4 inch or something. Stick that underneath the table and then add your clamp, and then you can go to go. I have since shown videos of cutting plywood on this table with putting clamps in place and doing it very easily with a handsaw, and I've also done it with circular saws, which is what most people are going to be using, is a circular saw, miter saw, that sort of thing. Again, the lower shelf or bar that doesn't have that. It's just got this wobbly, I wouldn't say it's a wobbly shelf, it's just a shelf in two pieces because it has to bend when the thing collapses. Talking about strong things that can help support it on the bottom, this is a 35-pound box of kitty litter, which we buy regularly and then put into tubs. Take that, put it down on the floor, and whether you need one or two, it's definitely holding it in place. I'm pushing the table and it's really got it in there. So if you have something large, some heavy, a bag of defroster, de-icer, something like that, anything big and strong, get it up against that leg and it's holding it from going in this direction. Now, I just have to happen to have two of these this week. That's not normal, but it is a good example that it will tip over before it slides. If you want to get really creative, now this is my workbench. Not everybody's going to have one of these, but if you think of this as a table or a support or something like that, you could consider using a clamp. This is just an F clamp. You could probably use a quick clamp, and using this area recess where you can put, you know, tools or screws or whatever, working that in there. It would just be at this point, but it would be a way of kind of keeping the table. I'm not sure this would work. It seems like it would just, because it's at an angle, it would just break off. Another option is to do it the other direction. This is probably a better option if you can do it. There is a little flange, very small, underneath of this that you can connect your clamp to your other surface. And it, even though it's pinched over here, there's really, for me, there's no way of putting it over there. But it is an option, but it's probably, if you could do it on both sides, you would be connected to this support. So some had asked if, when this is in the vertical position, could it be locked in place for working on things vertically? And so if you remember, when it is in the vertical position, or what I call vertical, basically having it down with a clamp in place to hold a piece like a 2x4 or a 2x8 or something like that, it's not completely vertical because it's at an angle. It's at an angle because the legs are at an angle. And in order for it to be like this, it is part of the design of this thing that it can be opened very quickly. Because if you have seen my videos on this, or anyone else's, you know that it becomes flat very quick and can actually stand on its own, which I have used to my benefit many times. But to be able to open it, it must be a quick, like that. And so this will not, it's locked in this position, but it will not lock in the other. And of course, it's locked in this position with these rods, which don't seem very strong, but they're stronger than they appear. And so that's very helpful when working with this device or with this table. One of the cons that I have experienced since putting out that video is there's a ruler here, sort of one of those center line rulers. We have 0 in the middle and then all the numbers going out from that. I wish that that was a little more visible than it is. And of course, now you can see some of the numbers a little better because I got paint in them or kitty litter or something else. But in its initial creation, it's just recessed numbers into the plastic of the top. And so sometimes I'll bring a board over here and I'll want to use that rather than having to go buy one of those things, a center line ruler, and I may have to do that anyway. I like to use this sometimes for just a quick center, and it's a little more difficult to see that. So that's a downside for me. But it may work for others. It may depend on the lighting of your shop. And the lighting in my shop has changed even in this shop in the last several months. I started with old T12 lights, and I now have much more powerful LEDs. So it just depends on what you're doing. There's also a different rule down here, a metric one, doing the same purpose. 0 in the middle and going out. Overall, this surface has held up. I've done things with X-Acto knives. I have done things, with cutting or scoring things. I have done, as you saw at the beginning, I was doing finishing. I usually put cardboard down or wax paper. I have done, I use this surface for sharpening. I usually set up one of the dogs with my diamond stone and work with that so I get oil on this surface. It's not a big deal. And so there's a lot of applications beyond just woodworking. I know a lot of people would buy these things for working with who are mechanics or working with machines or that sort of thing, getting all kinds of oil, grease, or stuff. I'm sure this table would handle it. So, all in all, that's how my Worx Pegasus has held up for these last 2 years. I would say probably a good 80% of the people buying this thing and using it are taking out to job sites, contractor sites, putting a miter saw on it, clamping up the wood using a circular saw or some other oscillating device to cut their boards. Most people are not using this for hand tool woodworking, but the video that I had done, pros and cons, was based on hand tool woodworkers who want to be able to do woodworking in a very small shop. And so, but this is a very versatile bench. Probably not the best on the market, but it's what I have that I bought for $50 from a friend of mine who was downsizing his shop. And like I said, I may in the future either buy another one of these or try out the Pony and see how that's doing, how that would do. I had looked at the Craig, I had looked at the DeWalt, I had looked at the some of the others on the market, and of course, like I said, I got this one for a pretty good price, much less than you would buy a new one today. But I certainly am open to others. What I would really like to have is a workmate, like the ones they made from the 70s through the 90s. But it's my understanding that the ones they make today are not as versatile as the ones they used to make. They are not as well made. They're pretty cheap. That's what I've kind of been told. That's what I've seen in reviews. But if you know about some good workmates out there, a lot of times you'd have an old workmate bottom and you just need to put a new top on. But for me, I like the top the way they were. So anyway, that's my Worx Pegasus, still working strong in the workshop. Thanks for watching.